Hello, and welcome to the Flipped Classroom series by Megan Karanick. Hello, and welcome to a flipped classroom about U.S. history. Today we will be learning and answering the question, to what extent were the 1950s a decade of conformity? To answer this question, it's yes and no. Television was a fun and exciting part of American life, and many families began to use them in their homes. The 1950s were a decade of conformity and also a decade of new ideas, because the shows that were created and shown to the public created an idealistic view of life, stereotypical views of expected gender roles, and some shows created new ways of entertaining the audience and broadcasting information. TV strove to create an ideal image of a family, continue to instill gender roles and elaborate on the ideas of idealistic American life, and shows often conformed to the norm. Families were portrayed very idealistically, and white people were subtly considered to be the supreme race, and as most families were white, and African Americans were usually portrayed as help or servants. The reason that TV did not conform to the norm is because the new type of shows that emerged. Shows that portrayed an ideal family were America Loves Lucy, I Love Lucy, The Donna Reed Show. They all portrayed a white family with sons and daughters that behaved as girls and boys were supposed to. Mischievous boys and obedient girls. The man would always go out and go work, while the wife would stay home and take care of the family and clean around the house. The reason why this influenced everyone in the country is because the shows were broadcasted and people wanted to look up to these people. They thought of them as their idols, as people do today with celebrities. This showed how the 1950s continued to conform to the ideas of an ideal family and the roles of certain genders. A new idea that emerged through a TV show was through the show of The Wild West. It showed sides of good and bad and a new American hero. It was a drama about American history. This exposed American history to the public and also strove to create a new idea of an American that's better than the rest, something that all mainly men should strive to be. A new form of television that emerged was something similar to present-day Saturday Night Live, called vaudeville in American living rooms. There were live performances, and they were generally centered around an engaging host. Some shows included comedy, and some shows included just entertaining, like a sitcom or something. Some other shows that emerged were children's shows. As the biggest, most popular creator of children's TV and shows, Walt Disney, Mickey Mouse emerged, and also Howdy Doody. These shows entertained children at home and also helped show the values that were once valued by Americans before through children's understandings. Finally, The Ed Sullivan Show, which is very similar to Ellen DeGeneres, started an idea of talk shows. It's not only shared information about celebrities, but also gave advice to people at home, listening and watching. The Ed Sullivan Show entertained the audience through performances by others, talking to celebrities about their lives, and also supporting modern-day people by bringing them on the show and allowing them to talk. It was basically another outlet for news, but they did it in a way that entertained audiences and wasn't just presenting information. So in summary, the 1950s was a decade of conformity because the shows that were broadcasted to the country were typically portraying a life that everyone would want to have. They wanted to keep it so the ideals of Americans stayed the same and didn't go off tangent into something that was never held before, values that were never held before. But at the same time, television also changed in the 1950s because it created a new way to present information and also engaged more audience members as TVs were more popular and accessible to more families with different incomes. Most families did have a TV in their home, and the wide extent of influence created a whole new generation of people that followed the same values as before because they were so instilled in their minds from TV shows and the media they were exposed to. So I hope you enjoyed learning about TV. It was very interesting to read about as the people